It's a lot to be excited about, not just for this opening weekend, but the season more generally. And for more on this, let's hear now from the general manager of the Betfred Women's Super League. Here's Tom Brindle. Well, Tom, a big thank you for joining us. And how excited, a brand new season of the Women's Super League. What's your take on where we find ourselves on the eve of a brand new season?
Yeah, it's massive. It's probably really big and exciting on two fronts. Firstly, when we started on the journey of Women's Super League, it kind of started in 2017, and our first real key milestone was the World Cup in 2021. So to be on the eve of that year and to see the excitement and building towards what will be undoubtedly the biggest and best World Cup, especially for the women's in wheelchair, is really exciting. But equally, after a prolonged absence through COVID, to get the season back under running and see people running around and active playing this weekend, really exciting. What a hard work has gone into both of those things, and to see that we're starting to see the fruits of our labour and have all kicked in anger this weekend. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, great stuff. And when we go back to 2019, the trajectory of the sport was on. It was only going in one direction. What does it tell us about where the women's game is, that despite COVID, it feels like that momentum's not been lost?
Yeah, like I say, there's been a lot of work, and this last week or the last couple of weeks more than anything else, we're starting to get to there. I think we've done a good job in maintaining that momentum, which is really a credit to all the people involved. We're seeing more girls teams than ever before, so we've seen a growth in our girls team. We've seen new women's competitions looking to be born, and again, that's really exciting. And just the attention and people interested in the Women's Super League and Women's Rugby League is continuing to grow. So the fact that we managed to maintain it is great, and I think it showcased that we were trying to do the right things, and that energy has followed through, which is really pleasing to see.
I mean, that's on the pitch, off the pitch as well. Commercially, you know, there's been more and more partners coming on board as well. I mean, how pleased have you been with that side of things?
Yeah, massive. I said, ultimately, that we all need support to make things happen, whether it's making the Women's Super League happen, which is what we're kind of getting to, because it's still a challenge within COVID times, or being able to get into new and more different places to increase the provision so that women and girls get the best opportunities and support around them. It's all really vital to expose people into new markets, inspire the next generation. I said the partners, they say rather than sponsors nowadays, because they help you get there and be more and be better, rather than it just being purely financial. So it's really great because it allows us to spread the word of rugby league, get more people interested in something I'm particularly keen on, just in general, especially around the women's and girls, is to change people's lives. I think it gives them a new, different way. The stories you hear of the girls who have been involved or the women that are involved now, it's just massive, and I really believe in that, and I think that's really important that the sponsorships and partners are coming on board allow us to do more of that, especially in our northern communities. It's great.
And one of those partners involved is Twitch, obviously, and the big announcement that there's going to be a game a weekend on that platform. How important is that, not just for the exposure side of it, but just generating interest, and you know the demographic as well who use that platform is quite interesting too.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest platforms. You know what I mean? I think there's 90 million users daily across their sites. It generally tends to be skewed to more the younger audiences. They're looking to expand their sporting provision. So again, really an exciting opportunity to be able to get the game of rugby league, women's rugby league, in front of new people to showcase the skills, the effort, the determination, the physicality involved, and get more people interested. If they just become an advocate, then that's great. If they become an advocate and fan, you know, I mean, that's even better. Who knows, he might even become an advocate, a fan, and have a family member that's playing, which is ultimately the goal. So yeah, it's just really great. They're great in what they've done in supporting in the past. Hopefully that will continue and get obviously good showcase this weekend of what no doubt will be a high profile and quality game.
Now, let's talk about the pyramid more generally, because obviously, you know, there's more clubs coming on board all the time, or there certainly was before COVID. And Super League has got 2 extra teams this year with Warrington and Huddersfield. How important is the fact that, you know, you've got clubs like Huddersfield and Warrington joining that top table? I mean, it's just keeping that momentum going, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, when we started out in 2016, when we started on the growth or the creation of the Women's Super League, it wasn't necessarily because we wanted a nice shiny competition at top, even though that's part of it. It was how can we level up the whole of women in the girls game? How can we bridge that disparity in participants in male and female? How we can get more people playing? So we deliberately set out a strategy that took us to 2021, and part of that was a slow growth over that period in time, because we know we needed to work with the community clubs, both girls and women's, to be able to make sure that it was done in a meaningful and respectful manner. And I think we managed to achieve that. There's been some bumps on the road, but I say our community game is growing, which is great to see. So to have 2 new teams, some of which were not around when we first started the Women's Super League, is great. I mean, both from, say, Warrington, Huddersfield and Dingy are doing some great work just again to grow the game. Warrington had no women's and girls at that time when they looked to launch, when we had their Women's Challenge Cup final in 2018 at the Halliwell Jones. Since then, they've now got 5-6 girls women's team, and obviously a team set to obviously play the first game this weekend in the Women's Super League. So the growth in that area has been massive, and hopefully that will continue to do so.
And generally, Tom, as well, I mean, it does come across in this interview and with the various news items we've seen over recent weeks. It obviously is great to be back with Rugby League. It's particularly great to be back with Women's Rugby League as well. And just seeing that momentum carry on. I mean, how hopeful are you in a World Cup year that this is just going to keep growing and growing and growing?
Yeah, really excited. As I say, there's hopefully there's stuff to come out soon that it's just going to take and continue to elevate what we're doing. So yeah, more people interested than ever before. And I believe in the product on the pitch, and that's only going to get better. Granted, there will be a bit of a reflection on the fact that there hasn't been no ball kicked in anger in 18 months, but I believe that it's an exciting and enjoyable game. And I think when we get more people playing, more people interested, that will continue to do so. I think we offer something relatively unique in Rugby League. I think Women's Rugby League is exactly the same. So yeah, more and more people are interested. Hopefully we'll be able to showcase that in the coming days and weeks around that level of commitment. And I think it's just going to fly, which is what we all want, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cracking stuff. Well, Tom Brindle from the RFL, a big thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come on the show. Really appreciate it, and enjoy the opening weekend.